All right, cool. So I'll get it rolling. So this is kind of the funnel that we use in our agencies. It's one of the lead gen methods. It's a cold lead gen method, but it's kind of like you warm them up and then you can warm call them. A lot of people talk about cold calling. Like, I don't know how much I believe in cold calling. I've tried it, and you can definitely get results with it depending on your niche, but warm calling is a lot better. So let's go over kind of what this is, like what a warm call is. So basically this funnel is pretty simple. What you're doing is you're sending a customized, like a super customized video to a prospect that you have already pre-qualified by looking into their company, by looking into their personal lifestyle, whatever your niche is. And you're building a list. That's the first step. So you build a list of the prospects that you're looking for. In my agency, we specialize working with 7 to 8 figure brands that sell on Amazon, and we manage the advertising for them. So what we're doing is we're building a list of all the 7 and 8 figure brands in Amazon that we want to work with in our agency. So we'll start by building like 100 prospects, right? It's a good number to start with. Russell Brunson talks about the Dream 100. It's a little bit different than this. Chet Holmes was the original sales guy who came up with the Dream 100. So you're building a list of 100 ideal prospects that you in your agency or whatever your service is that you want to work with. All right, so you can use a Google Sheet for this. It's pretty simple. Then what you want to do is you want to find 2 to 3 common mistakes that this company is making. So for us in our agency, we know that like if a company is not bidding on their own brand name keywords for their advertising. Like if you search on Amazon a company's brand name and competitor ads show up, that's a common mistake that's probably costing them $50,000 to $100,000 a year in lost sales. And we know that for a fact, and we can verify that and actually tell these brands that they're losing $50,000 to $100,000 a year from that one single little mistake. So we look for that mistake. That's mistake number 2. That was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is something like they are not running this particular type of ad, and we can call them out on it and let them know. So once you can identify a couple mistakes that they're making that's costing them like huge, that's costing them a lot of either money, resources, time, whatever it is at the service that you're offering, again, they should be making a couple mistakes that you can fix. So once you've identified the couple mistakes, you have a list of 100 prospects that are making 2 to 3 common mistakes that your agency solves. And then what you do is you create a value video. So this is called VV, pretty much a value video. And I'll get into how the CEO calls you in just a second. I know it's kind of funny, but I actually had a CMO call me, and the CEO was freaking out, telling the CMO to just call me and get me to shut up because I was using this funnel. And it was pretty guerrilla marketing. But anyways, then what you want to do is you want to build a value video. So this is like a 2 to 5 minute video that you're sending to the owner of the company, of the 7 to 8 figure brand, the CEO. If you're not targeting CEOs or whatever, you're targeting smaller 5 to 6 figure companies, or just you're targeting people who want to lose weight or gain weight, whatever, you send it directly to the decision maker. And the video is really simple. It's just a video that I use a screen share video. I use a Chrome app called Screencastify, and I record myself, and I have my face in the bottom right corner of the screen, and in the main screen, it shows the product or the company's logo or whatever. So that way it's super customized. So the moment that this CEO clicks on this video, if I send it to him on LinkedIn, if I send it to him via email, if I send it to him on Twitter, Facebook, I'm going to send it to him on every single channel possible. But when he clicks into this video, he's going to see immediately that this is not just a templated video, like a fucking automated thing that there's no customization to it. This is a video. When he clicks in, he immediately sees his company, his brand, and he sees my face in the bottom right corner. So it's very customized. And I'll say, hey, John, hey, whatever, I just want to let you know, I saw a couple mistakes that you're making in your advertising on Amazon. And I noticed that you guys are probably losing between $50,000 to even $100,000 per year with these 2 mistakes. And I'll walk you through them in this video. And I'm not trying to pitch you anything. I just wanted to show you these mistakes and make you aware of them. So let's get into it. Mistake number 1 is blah, 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 blah. Mistake number 2 is blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the video, you're just saying, hey, John, look, if you want help fixing these mistakes, I'm happy to help you out. I actually run an agency. It's an advertising agency, and we work with companies just like you, 7 to 8 figure companies. And it's very easy for us to fix these kinds of mistakes. And I think you guys have a lot of potential with your ads. So if you're interested to learn more about how we can help, feel free to reach out, and we can maybe hop on a call. And that's what it is. It's super organic. It's a super soft pitch. Like, it is not a hard pitch. There is no book to call button in the message. It's literally a video. It's a message with a link to a video, and the message says something super simple like this. It just says like, hey, John, I noticed your company is making a few mistakes that's costing you, over $100,000 per year with your company on Amazon. So I made you this short video, this 2 to 3 minute video going through these mistakes so you guys could fix them. It's super organic. It's pure value. That's why I called it a value video, because it's valuable. Like, if somebody sent me this video and said, hey, Taylor, I noticed your website is this or that, and if you improve this, you probably make an extra $10,000 to $20,000 a month, I'd be like, holy shit. And I'd look into it. And if I saw that the guy was right, I would either reach out to him and just immediately be like, all right, how can you help me with this? What do you charge? Or I would try to fix it myself if it's really easy to fix. Right? But you are the controller of this game, which is why you pick mistakes that are often not that easy to fix, that you and your service can fix for them. So once you've sent this video to the CEO, to the owner, to the decision maker, whatever it is, again, super simple video. You have a message that says, hey, John, I just want to send you this important video. I saw a couple mistakes you're making that's costing you $50,000 to $100,000 a year. Here's the link. That's it. Simple. Takes like 10 seconds to read, and then they can click the link to the video. Once you've sent that, then what you want to do is you want to follow up, like in the next 2 to 3 days. If you notice that they haven't actually seen your message, or they haven't read your message, they haven't even, whatever, what you want to do is you want to have a follow-up script for that, okay? And that's pretty simple. You're just following up. But typically what happens is you get a 10% call booking rate, okay? So I've sent tons of these videos. The first 257 of these videos that we sent, we got 24 calls booked. I literally did the math, because in leadgen Enlightened, I shared it with all my students, all the agency owners in there. And I said, look, if you don't think this thing freaking works, it works. Our first 257 videos that we sent got 23 or 24 calls booked. That was with 0 follow-up. And we closed at about, like, I don't even know what it was. I think it was like 80%. It was ridiculous. And it's really high because the close rate is super high, because you've already qualified them. You've warmed them up by sending them this customized video. Nobody sent them a customized video, by the way. Like, I shit you not, and pardon me for my language, I had pretty much every single company that I reached out to and I sent this video to, the first thing they said when they got on this call with me was that they loved the video and they really appreciated it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a huge step back. Anytime in business, when you're doing a marketing method, or you're trying some new lead gen method or cold call approach, or whatever the hell it is, if you're getting like 80, 50, even just 50% of the people, if they're telling you, hey, I really like this message blew me away, you know that you're on to something huge. So I knew right away when we got like, all these people that booked a call said, hey, I loved your video. I was like, we're gonna pump this out to thousands of companies. So what happens is you get on a 15-minute phone call with them. You don't try to pitch them or sell them your services. It's too soon. Again, they're pretty heated up here, and sometimes you can close them here, but it's best if you don't. It's best if you do a 15-minute call and you qualify them. And I call this a discovery call, where essentially you're pretty much just figuring out if and how much you can actually help them. Okay, so in leadgen Enlightened, we talk about audit-based selling. And audit-based selling is where you're doing an audit and then you're pitching them. So it's a 2-step sales process. You have the first phone call, which is 15 minutes. What you're doing is you're asking them questions about their company. Hey, John, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your company to get an idea on how much we think that we could actually, help you guys increase your sales? John says, yeah, sure, no problem. I say, okay, first question is, how much are you guys spending on your advertising per month right now on Amazon in the USA marketplace, whatever, right? He says, all right, yeah, Taylor, we're spending about $20,000 a month. Okay, and what's your revenue on the ad spend? He says, our revenue is about $40,000 a month, so we have almost a 2-to-1, nearly a 3-to-1 ROI on our advertising. I say, okay, cool. And how often are you guys optimizing your ads? How often are you guys split testing? How often are you doing this? Blah, 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 blah. I'm asking him tons of questions. And then once I've asked him about 3 to 5 questions, it really only takes that many questions, then I know if I can really work with him or not. So I've qualified him and I know if I can work with him. And from there, what I'm doing is I'm basically saying, all right, John, look, I've asked you all the questions. I think we could really help, but what we would need to do is we would need to do an in-depth audit process so we could give you some actual numbers on how much we think we could increase your sales. And then I'll just shut up. I'll be completely silent. And John, whoever this is, will basically, he's basically going to say something like, oh, well, how do you do this? How do you do this audit? Like, what is the audit? How do you do this? And I'll say, oh yeah, John. So like what I do is we come into your Amazon account, we take your search term report, we basically put it through a custom software that we built in our agency that allows us to be able to know with a forecast on how much we'd be able to increase your sales from a pessimistic forecast to an optimistic forecast. That way we can give you a more accurate forecast on how much we think we could increase your sales. It's super organic. Like, this is the ultimate organic pitch, and this is why it closes so well. So John's like, all right, well, that sounds freaking great. Like, like as a business owner, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, whoa, you want to go in depth on my account to give me an in-depth forecast on the type of results that you can deliver me? Of course, like, let's do it. The only objection that they have at this stage is they want an NDA, which is fine. So I've become so good at this that like what happens is when I'm on the call, I'm just like, and doing an NDA is necessary. I know that you probably, data is sensitive, so I can send an NDA so we can get that done. So I'll mention it before John even mentions it. So it's like, it's pretty funny. It's almost like I'm 2 steps ahead of what the prospect is thinking. I know what they're going to say. I know what their objections are going to be. So I completely disqualify and get rid of their objections before they even happen. And it's built into the script to get rid of their objections. Now this takes time. You can't just do this. Again, I sent 257 videos. We did about 24 calls. After doing about 20 calls, I figured out, I was like, all right, here's how I need to adjust the script so I can make sure that they never have objections, so that my 15-minute discovery call to audit call is about 100%, right? So then I change the script, and pretty much 99 times out of 100, I'm able to get into the client's account and get access to sensitive data, which we need to be able to do a more in-depth audit. Once we have that done, at the end of this 15-minute call, I'm going to say, all right, John, this is going to take us 24 hours. It's not going to take us that long. Can you talk at the same time tomorrow, right? So what happens is John comes and he says, all right, yeah, that's fine. Let's book it in. So I immediately, at the end of this call, I don't hang up this call until I book the second call with John, right? So I'm not leaving this call until I get John to book that second call with me, all right? And then from there, what happens is the next day we have the audit call, and it's really funny because like on this call, I can close like 80% of the time, probably even now like 90%. The reason why is because this is the most organic approach. They really like the approach because it's very organic. You didn't try to sell them as soon as you got on the phone with them, which is, again, pretty unconventional. Not a lot of agencies will take the time to understand the business or the person's current situation and then tell them that they need to go in depth on their current situation to see how much results they could deliver. And then from there, you're pitching and you're actually giving your service and how much it costs, what the setup fee is. All of that detail is on the second call. And it's really straightforward. So you're probably wondering, like, how do I actually make the CEO call me? Like, how do I actually do that? Well, what happened there was a company that I was positive we could make like an extra $200,000 a month if they worked with us, and that was a huge retainer. It was like, would have been like $10,000 a month retainer for us. So what happened was the CEO, he was super busy. This guy wasn't even reading my message that I was sending him here. So I followed up with him 3 or 4 times, and still he never read my message. So what I did was I contacted all the executives, like literally like 8 of the executives, and I sent them a super simple message. I said, hey, Sarah, I sent John, the CEO of your company, a really important message about the mistakes that he's making in his advertising. Can you ask him to check it out for me? I sent him the message on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I'll just send that message to all the executives, like 8 different executives, and then they're pretty much 2 or 3 of them, probably even 4 or half of them, will message John and they'll say, hey, there's this guy, Taylor, he's trying to, he said he sent you some video about a few mistakes we're making with our advertising. He asked if I could tell you to check it out. And like, I did this with I only did it with about 5 or 6 executives in the company. And the CEO got so annoyed with the messages that he asked the CMO to call me. And so the CMO called me and he's like, are you Taylor Venture? And I was like, yep. Who are you? What's going on? How can I help? And he said, hey, I'm the CMO of this company. I just wanted to let you know, our CEO, he said that he was being bombarded with messages, people telling him to check out the video that you sent him. He saw the video. He said it was a good video and he just wanted me to call you. But he also wanted me to tell you that, just please stop fucking sending people messages to tell him to look at your message because he's getting bombarded with messages. So then I had the call with the CMO. I did the 15-minute call and we did the pitch. And it's like really effective. If you can't get this owner to read your message, you just send a simple message to the executives asking the CEO to watch the video. You don't send the video to the executives. That's not what you want to do. You want the highest person possible to be watching that video. Because what happens is when the CEO watches that video, when the president, the owner, whatever, if it is a big company, what's going to happen is the CEO is going to tell the CMO to phone you or to contact you or to book a call. Generally, if it's an 8-figure or 9-figure company and it's a pretty decent sized corporation, the CEO is never going to talk to you. They're going to just tell the CMO to call you. And if the CMO likes you, then you're going to have a meeting and then you're going to have to send a big proposal. And the sales cycle for a $10,000 a month contract or even like an $8,000 a month contract is generally a bit longer than just pitching a $2 to $3K monthly retainer or even like $1,000, right? Like if you're pitching $1,000 service, sometimes what you can do is you can even sell them on this first call. I still recommend doing the audit. But yeah, when you're in retainers of around 5 to 10K, you should expect it to be a bit longer than just 2 phone calls. So that's it for this super simple funnel. Obviously I didn't go in depth on it. And the next level for this, like this is going to sound pretty nuts. We were able to make this video evergreen in our agency so that it was customized, but it was also evergreen. So it doesn't really make sense, but let me explain this. So this video that we send out now is very customized to the company that we're sending it to, but it's completely automated. So instead of me saying, hey, John, I say like, what's going on, CareTouch, or hey, Facebook, or I just say, hey, and then the company's name. And then I basically say, I want to send you a few mistakes that you guys are making in your advertising. And the whole video is pre-recorded except for the first like 4 seconds. So the only thing that I need to do is say, hey, John, or hey, company, or whatever. And then the last 2.5 to 3 minutes of the video is all done by a virtual assistant and it's scripted out. So this sounds really weird, but you can do this with Camtasia where you can write the script that you would typically write, because keep in mind, all the mistakes are the same, right? Like you have 2 to 3 common mistakes for every single prospect that you're sending this video to, which allows you to create a pre-recorded video, but you can make it customized if you do some ninja shit. And this is what we were doing. You can make it customized if you basically say like, hey, John, and then that's it, right? So then you record hey, John in an audio format. And then what you do is you have your pre-recorded audio for the rest of the script. And then you have a virtual assistant do the mouse movements on the screen share and synchronizes the audio of the script with the mouse movements on the screen. So it's really weird. It's like you have this pre-recorded script, but the virtual assistant is showing the prospect's company and the mistakes that they're making, but all they're doing is they're just clicking between tabs and showing the product on the screen. and the prospect would never know the difference. It's really crazy. So pretty much when I'm doing prospecting, if I find 100 companies, the only thing I need to do is I need to say like, hey John, hey Alan, hey Florin, hey Kim, and then my virtual assistant team will chop up the names and plug them into each video. It sounds very complex. You don't need to do it like that. You can start out by just making 2 to 3 minute videos yourself, but we've automated that process quite a bit, and it's part of what we teach in Lead Gen Enlightened is how to set up that whole machine. And this is just one of the lead gen methods. So how do you make the CEO call you? Send them a customized video, and then send their executive team a bunch of follow-ups if the CEO doesn't actually read your message. So that is it. If you have questions, feel free to answer or feel free to ask them. It looks like Sebastian said Mike Micholowat sent me one of those customized vids one time. They're so organic. It's great. Patrick Allen, good sales wisdom, old school, simple, and works. Yes, sir. I mean, it's really simple. It's really straightforward. And, you know, I heard last night, I was at a mastermind last night with a bunch of marketers. Everybody there was marketers, some of them 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs. I think one of them was an 8-figure entrepreneur. If not, all of the rest of them were at least 7 figures and some 6 figures. And one of the guys there said that he went to TNC, Traffic and Conversion by Ryan Deiss. And the theme of traffic and conversion, now I don't know this, I wasn't there. If you were there, maybe you can clarify this, but he told me the theme of traffic and conversion was pretty unique. It said that in 2019 and 2020, what you're gonna see is a shift from templated messages that convert, and that's no longer working. What you need to do is it's more customized messages, and it's about building a relationship. And I could see this trend coming because I've tried doing the cold emails. I've tried doing different things that weren't customized. Again, keep in mind, if it's not customized, it's very scalable, okay? But if it generally gets a lower conversion rate for the calls booked or whatever, right? Like you get a way lower quality of response and a way lower conversion rate on booking the call, but it's way scalable. It's more scalable. But with a customized approach that is more about building a relationship with somebody before you actually go and sell them your service or your product, it's converting way more. And they said that they found that they think the trend for 2019, and based on what they've been doing for the last 6 months for a lot of the marketers there, is that, you know, they're going to see more and more of customized, personalized messages. Building a relationship is going to be, you know, the primary thing for getting a lead in the door that's going to convert in a decent time frame. So if any of you guys went to TNC, I'd be interested to hear that. Marcus John, this is for SEO services. Yeah, this will work for SEO. I offer PPC services in my agency, but in Lead Gen Enlightened, like we got people that are doing tons of different things, and yeah, it'll work for anybody. I mean, it's a universal framework, right? So if you send somebody that's doing terrible SEO a message, right, you're going to basically open up a sheet and you're going to find, you know, a bunch of mistakes that they're making in their SEO. And you should make sure they're common mistakes, right? So 2 to 3 common mistakes that they're making with SEO. I don't know what those common mistakes are, but you want to make sure that they're mistakes that are painful enough to, if you sent them a video talking about the mistakes that they're making in their SEO, they would feel a lot of pain in their heart, right? So whether it's like, hey, I noticed that, you know, you're not really putting any effort into SEO. You got some competitors here who are ranking page 1 on Google, and they're not even doing really that great of a job with their SEO. I think you could do something like this, like something like that, where it would really help their business. It would really change their life if they were to fix this. I mean, the more of an impact this mistake, if fixed, would make, the more powerful this value video is going to be. And it'll definitely work for SEO. It's just, we are just getting started into this. Have you heard of Lemlist? They make dynamic images / videos like this. I have not heard of Lemlist, but I'll check them out. We were considering building our own customized software that does something Oh yeah, dude, Lemlist. So basically you take a picture and then they customize and put an image of the company's logo. Yeah, dude. So this is legendary. Actually, I saw this. I saw a service similar to this about a year ago, and instead of using that service, we just decided to build this out. But that would be really cool. So basically, it's more personal and it's also more scalable, which is really cool. It's not as personal as a video. I don't know if they do video. It says their website is about send emails that get replies. So that would be cool because it's, an email and it has an image in it, but it's still not really a customized video. Like the video would be really powerful, but it's still worth it to test out sending something with a customized image. That would still be really cool. So I would recommend testing it out. Let me know if you test it out. Yeah, so you can make it generic enough that it can scale. Yeah, so that's the secret with this, is that you're making it, this right here is the secret of this whole thing. It's not really a secret, it's just that you're prospecting companies that look like ideal clients for you, or people. If you're a personal trainer, you might be prospecting ideal people, and you're finding 2 to 3 mistakes. It could even just be one major mistake that they're making in their business or in their life. It's a little bit different if it's in their life because it's a bit more personal. You got to kind of work around that. But 2 to 3 common mistakes that they're making. And every single business in this sheet needs to have these mistakes in order for this to be scalable. So if I can build a list of 100 companies that all have the same 2 mistakes, and we know that because we had virtual assistants verify that, then this can be a scripted video. And it can still be extremely customized because you can have virtual assistants do the mouse movements on the screen recording. If some people joined in and they don't really know what I'm talking about, you'll have to rewind because, yeah, you can make this customized video extremely personal. Cool. Yeah, I would definitely check it out. Alex Shabu, funnelbake.com. What is that? Funnelbake is an email outreach and automation sales engine that helps you send personalized emails. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. I've done cold emailing. I've tried different things with it, but if you really want to get a high quality, it's not so you can use all these different services. You can do cold emails. But it's not about the call book rate or the response rate or the amount of scalability of the amount of sends that you can do. All that matters is the metric at the very end, which is how many people do you close, right? That's all that matters. So when you're thinking about, is cold email better? Is cold calling better? Should I use funnel bake or Lemlist or whatever the service is or whatever the lead gen method is, it's just important that you focus on the final metric. Because I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm doing this cold email and I'm getting great responses, but I'm only getting 1% of people or 0.2% of people that are booking a call with me, and all the calls are pretty much crap. I didn't want to deal with that, so what we did is we just built a super amazing customized lead gen method where we can find all the companies we want to work with. We know these are companies we want to work with, and then we can just hammer them with value and follow-ups until they decide to work with us. And 100 companies, 100 clients for us would be between $250,000 to $400,000 per month, because our average retainer is between $2,500 to $3,500 a month. So Marky Johnson, good tip, list of 100 businesses with the same 2 needs. Yes, that is exactly what you're doing. 100 companies that look like ideal clients that all have the same 2 problems. And what you can do with those companies is send them all the same freaking scripted video. And it looks super customized because you're talking about 2 problems. And the first 5 seconds of this is actually customized. So it's It's like, bam, they click play and they're pre-famed. It's like, hey, John, I just saw your company is making a few mistakes. And they're like, whoa, this is a super customized video. And then without them even knowing, it's like the video turns into a ghost and it's all of a sudden scripted. And like, it's so legendary. When you watch this thing, you cannot tell. Like, you cannot tell if it is scripted or not. We had one person who saw the video on the call and they knew that there was something weird about the video and they just kept asking us there because they were like, how did you make that video? It seemed like there was something weird going on, and they were the only ones. And I told them what happened, and they said it was brilliant. But there was only one company we saw that kind of knew. So recommendations on VA services you use for the Philippines based. Yeah, I mean, we find all of our virtual assistants on onlinejobs.ph, and for stuff like this is super monotonous. You just want to find somebody with great Wi-Fi that is like just looking to make money, and you can pay them $2 to $3 an hour. Like the guy that does this for us, we pay him like $2.50 an hour, and he's happy to do it. He does it out of his home. He has good Wi-Fi. Great. If he's just doing that, like it's so monotonous. It's so like, hectic that you can't do it after you do it yourself for like 50 videos, you need to hire it. But yeah, I would just use onlinejobs.ph. Cool. Christopher, Scott, Mark, Marcus, Teddy O'Reilly. Cool. We got a bunch of people on here. Well, if you got any other questions, feel free to comment. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end this live, and I appreciate you guys all coming on. And if you do try this out, make sure you do this with at least 100 people. And what you need to do is you need to build a follow-up script right there. You need to make this thing evergreen if you want to scale it. It needs to be customized based on these 2 to 3 mistakes. If you can add a lot of social proof into that video, it makes the video, it makes this video even better. And start where you have results. So if you really want to make this video like really unbelievable, you start targeting companies where you have results. Like if you're a digital marketing agency and that's what you classify yourself as, I mean, you're pretty much screwed if you go out into the marketplace and you try to call yourself a digital marketing agency. Like, you need to customize. You need to niche down and target specific companies that have specific problems that you can specifically solve with your specific service. Specificity is what just like makes conversion rates go through the roof. Specificity and customization are the two things in lead gen that can make it very extremely successful. Yes, Marcus, you can watch this again. There should be a recording. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel probably today, midday or something. But there should be a recording on Facebook. If not, you can check it out on YouTube. So that's it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this video and get back into the hustle. I appreciate you guys all coming on. And yeah, so I appreciate you coming on. What's up, Michael? We are just ending as you joined on. But if you're interested in figuring out how you can make the CEO call you and send 100 messages and get 10% call book rates, then I would rewatch this video because this is a legendary lead gen method we use. I know you're in the Amazon niche, Michael, because we spoke before, and this model is proven in the Amazon niche, so it works really well. Cool. All right, guys. Ciao. Thanks for coming on.